Adakah syarikat pembersihan penting untuk bangunan berserata? Hai, selamat datang ke program Jom Minum Bersama atau lebih dikenali sebagai JMB. Saya PMGR Nevish. Pada hari ini kita akan berbincang berkenaan dengan topik-topik pengurusan hartanah. Pada hari ini kita ada seorang tetamu yang daripada syarikat Hiroki Eco Cleaning Services Sdn Bhd. Cik Arun, boleh tak Encik Arun memperkenalkan diri, Encik Arun dan apakah syarikat Hiroki Eco Cleaning Services yang berhad memberikan servis?
We are actually running a commercial cleaning services where we do for residential and commercial buildings. Okay, contractual cleaning services. Sorry. Yeah, what we do is like basically, let me put it in a very simpler way. I believe that you would have seen cleaners in building when you stay in a condo or any residential buildings. You will see them, like cleaning the common corridors and all, right? So we supply that kind of cleaners because when I say cleaning services, what comes to people's mind is like, hey, I need cleaning services for do a jump. Take a jump. Can you send? That's called, if you ask me, I will say that's more towards maid services. What we do is like more toward contractual cleaning services. Yeah, that's my main business. And then we do waste management as well. We started in 2018. And then one whole year I learned how to do cleaning services. Then 2019, when I want to do marketing, my father passed away. So one whole year I was under depression. Then 2020, want to do marketing again. COVID hit me so hard. Finally, 2021 is where I started my marketing. Within 3 years, as of today, we have about 500 cleaners with more than 41 sites now.
Oh, that's a great achievement.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
It was a tough time, ya.
Yes, very tough.
Alright. Okey, Encik Arun, saya nak terus masuk kepada topik kita pada hari ini, iaitu kita berbincang mengenai kepentingan syarikat pembersihan. Okey, jadi apakah peranan perkhidmatan pembersihan dalam pengurusan harta dan mengapa ia amat penting untuk mengekalkan nilai harta? Because I believe, saya percaya tujuan kita mengambil seseorang cleaners ataupun cleaning service untuk kita menjaga the situation of the building, right? So from your perspective, okay, what would be the advice you can
Okay, if you ask me, it's not because I am doing cleaning services. If you ask me in general, cleaning is very important. Now, let's put building aside. Let's talk about hygiene, which means it's like more towards health. Now, even during COVID, I believe you would have realized that a lot of businesses were actually down. During COVID is when I actually grew in my business. Why? Is because now that's when people understand the importance of hygiene, number one. Number two, when you talk about buildings, okay, cleaning services actually contribute a lot to the building's value, if you ask me. Why? Is because, okay, for an example, now let's say I want to buy a condo. Okay, probably I'm looking at a mid-range condo, about 300,000 to 400,000 ringgit. No. I walk into a condo. The first impression is how clean is the entrance, how is the lobby kept, how is the lift. Okay, and then when I go in and I see the unit, that is actually my second impression. People will always say, I want to see the unit. Actually, it's not the unit. When you stay in a condo, you will see the condo, you will see the facility areas. That's when you'll go for the unit. Even the unit is so beautiful, the condo is in really bad condition, you would think twice whether you want to buy or not. Kenapa? Because the price will go down. Bila harga turun, macam mana nak jual balik? That's number one. Number two, you will also have a feeling that, okay, put investment aside. If I'm going to use it for my own stay, kalau benda tu tak di-manage dengan proper, that means the cleaning is not up to the par level. Am I going to stay in this kind of area? You will have this kind of thoughts, correct? Now, that is one of the reason why, if you ask me, cleaning is very important. If the cleaning is in good condition, if you ask me, of course, a lot of people will buy. When the transactions of buying and selling is high, that means, of course, if you ask me, that value is still there. It won't drop massively. So it contributes to the property's value as well, if you ask me, cleaning services.
Okay. Bila kita dengar cleaning ataupun syarikat pembersihan ni adalah sangat penting. Jadi based on your experience, apakah cabaran, what would be the most toughest cabaran you have ever had that you want to address as an awareness, to our audience?
Okay. First issue we will always face is payment. When you deal with JMBs, okay, not all, some, because we can't also blame them. Because sometimes JMBs, they are not running a profitable company or what, correct? What they're doing is they're actually collecting the money and then paying it as a service fee. When the owners don't pay, So what happens is our service fee will be interrupted. And when the JMBs they don't pay us on time, we have to come up with that money to pay for the cleaners. So we have, when I say 500 cleaners, you can just do your maths and see. So how much money I need to stand by. So, and you see, I'm not from a millionaire family, or my parents are not from business family. All I started from scratch. So in a month, I need to have 500 people's salary. So to roll that, that's my first challenges. And especially when you have Chinese New Year, Deepavali, Christmas, Hari Raya, all these public holidays, I'll always have this fear. You know why? GMBs will always go to overseas. Can't able to sign my check, can't issue my payment. So when we talk about all these things, I'll always Malaysians we love public holidays, but when you do business, you won't like public holidays, right?
Betul.
Sadly, in Malaysia, we have most number of public holidays. So, and when I think about all this, that's my first challenges. I have to overcome that. I cannot say that JMB never pay me. I will find ways to drag my salary. No, so far, that should never once have done this. All my cleaners I pay on time. That's the first challenges we face. Now, let's say we have settled that. Second challenge is what we will face is uh, with the residents. Not all, some. Their mentality. Okay. Now, when you take, if you realize my cleaning company is known as Hiroki, a lot of people will question, you're an Indian guy. You don't have any partner. Why does your company sounds Japanese? Huh? Okay. It's very simple. When we talk about cleaning and discipline, the first thing will come to your mind is Japan.
Mhm.
Have you realized that?
Yes,
Why
yes.
is because even let it be any um, games or any sports show or anything, even after that whole sports thing, they will clean up the whole studio. Sorry, stadium. Studio pula. I'm sitting in a studio. I keep saying a studio. Okay. So they'll clean up the whole stadium. Yeah. Why? Is because it's their mentality. But looking at other people, other countries, like I don't want to mention. Okay, looking at other people's mentality, they will drink the water bottle in the stadium, then they'll just throw it down. Sometimes, yeah, there are people who also throw it in the dustbin. So I looked at Japan and I realized that why can't we learn from them? So I took that as inspiration. So I named it as Hiroki. And this you look at these specific people, when it comes to cleaning, they are very disciplined. In Malaysia, not all, most of the buildings, what we face is cleaners would have actually swept the floor. Okay, they would have cleaned and all, and then probably that floor they will have renovations. Especially, we will always have these problems when it's a new building. Baru handed over the keys to the owners or residents, and then when people are starting to move in, they will do renovation at all at one time. When the cleaners have swept and mopped the floor, someone will be doing renovation, and then the floor will be dirty again. Next question we will kena is, why didn't the cleaners clean the floor? They have to understand that whole building is about 40-story buildings, correct? We will probably will only have like 15 cleaners. So we cannot be placing the cleaners at each and every floor, correct? We have to manage that. We will receive this kind of complaints, number one. Number two, even after we have cleaned, forget about contractors, owners itself, they don't want to keep the place clean. So it's about the mentality again. So these are the main problems we face. If at all everyone is like going to segregate their waste after using that disposing the things, and they know how to clean things up, and then they have a good mentality, it's going to make my life very much easier.
Understood, understood. So, uh, coming back to our point, to our topic, that means the residents or the tenants there who staying in the stratified buildings, mereka juga perlu mengambil sedikit awareness berkenaan dengan hygiene dan juga pembersihan lah. Okay. Soalan seterusnya saya nak tanya, uh, bagaimanakah Hiroki handle complaints? Sebab saya percaya daripada pengalaman saya sebagai seorang pengurus hartanah, saya hari-hari saya akan terima komplain berkenaan dengan pembersihan. Jadi bagaimanakah sesebuah syarikat pembersihan ataupun Encik Arun sendiri, how do you handle complaints?
Okay. Now, I'm not sure about how other cleaning companies are managing. We, Hiroki, how we manage is because I realized that building managers, they have got a lot of things to settle, not just cleaning. Okay. Building managers are like the captain of the ship, correct? So they have to manage cleaning, they have to manage security, they have their own work to settle, and they cannot be probably, or you can put it as BE also, even building executives. So they've got a lot of other works. So they cannot be actually like focusing on, hey, 10th floor, ada orang tuang Milo, boleh pergi mop tak? They cannot be handling all these kind of small, petty things. Now, at the same time, that complaint is also important because they are paying maintenance fee. Correct? Then I realized, okay, to cut this off and then for the complaints to come to us directly, can we do something or not? So I looked at app and all. So I created a QR code. Now, this how does this QR code works is most of our buildings this is what we have been doing. We have a QR code which will be pasted in every floors, and that QR code will be at every lift floor, floor lobbies, okay, especially at the lift areas, okay. And then let's say you're a resident, you come out of your floor and you see Milo on the floor, or the orang tuang baru mop, sudah kotor, and then what you have to do is very simple, ambil phone, scan, tap your complaint, that's it. What will happen is building manager, those who are in the group, everyone will receive a complaint. Okay. Then we have a HQ QR team to settle these complaints. What they will do, they will settle this complaint and then they will forward it back to the owner. We will CC the building manager. So the building manager will be in the loop. He will know what's actually happening. At the same time, we'll settle the complaints. That's how we settle our complaints. If not, if let's say we have got 40 floors, 6 blocks, 2,500 units, each and every complaints are going to come in, it's going to be very difficult to settle.
I see. Okay. Sekarang kebanyakan stratified building ataupun JMB, MC, mereka sering kali bercakap berkenaan dengan harga, pricing. That is the most important factor which is affecting our cash flow. Jadi boleh tak Encik Arun give your input betapa pentingnya syarikat pembersihan ni dan how do you actually derive with your charges?
Okay. Now, okay. I can't blame MC or GMB because everyone wants to save their money because, like I mentioned earlier, they are not a profit organization. They are running with residents fund. I totally agree with that. But on the other side, they must also understand. Now, when we want to pay the cleaners, if we are going to pay them peanuts, you'll know what you will receive then. Correct? So we cannot be underpaying them. That's number one. Number two, we also have to consider that we have overtime, public holidays, all these we cannot be back charging our clients. Correct? Like I mentioned earlier again, we have most number of holidays in Malaysia, public holidays. So for all those public holidays, we have to actually double pay them. If we are just going to pay them like 10 ringgit or 5 ringgit, they would not be definitely working with us for a long term. And even if they're working, we won't have this good quality cleaners. Correct? That's number one. Number two, putting this aside, we have to also understand we have to buy proper chemicals. We have a management fee. We have area managers to handle this. Not just area managers, I have a GM, I've got operation manager. Actually, I've got a very big team to manage. That's the reason why today I can sit here in a very relaxed state to give you an interview. If not, I'll be running around. To run this whole organization, we need a proper team. To manage them, we need to pay them well. So if at all I'm going to charge below market rate, I'm not saying charging below market rate is wrong. Honestly speaking, now when I started my business, I charged my clients below market rate because you see, at that point of time, my costing was very low. My overhead was very low. So for me to start my business, I need to, give them some kind of services or discounts. That's when I charge them below market rate. So I gave them some extra value-added services together with a below market rate. So they appointed me. Now our price is, I would still say it's very reasonable based on the market price. Very reasonable. Why? Is because we have to make sure that we pay them well, and then we have to make sure that we pay the management team well, send them proper chemicals, equipments, and then not just chemical and equipments. We have actually partnered with one of the company called Duromag. They are one of the biggest machinery manufacturer, supply in Malaysia, where they supply all these kind of big ride-on scrubbers and all. So what they are doing currently now is they are supplying to us all these good ride-on scrubbers, walk behind scrubbers, walk behind sweepers and all. So when we want to buy all these kind of machineries, it's going to cost us a lot. And the ones which we're buying, it's not from Taiwan or China. Most of the machines are from Germany, and also from India and all. So it's very expensive. So in order to pay for all these machines, we need to make sure that we have a profit. So that's the reason why cleaning companies, and then of course now they have also increased the minimum wage, right? So certain sites they can pay, certain sites they can't afford to pay. Again, we can't blame the cleaners. Okay, when the minimum wage is implemented, it's either we need to find ways to let it go or we absorb the cost.
Okay.
So that's how we are managing.
Alright. Saya pernah melihat benda ni lah. Sebab ada setengah cleaners ni, bila mereka nak bersihkan sesuatu kawasan, mereka tak ada equip dengan all those equipments. Macam contoh dia ada push cart trolley kan. Saya tengok ada setengah cleaning company, cleaners dia tak ada proper push cart, tak ada proper equipments. So jadi uh, pihak JMB MC perlu juga memberi fokus kepada perkara-perkara sebegini juga. Sebab tanpa equipment yang bagus dan juga komplit, I rasa cleaner tidak boleh menjalankan tugas mereka kan. So jadi Encik Arun, saya nak tanya satu lagi point daripada view saya. Sekarang bila kita tengok stratified building, it's a very huge place untuk kita manage. So jadi kita akan ada daily services, weekly services, monthly services dan juga yearly services. So jadi apakah tugas-tugas berdasarkan daripada pengalaman Encik Arun, apakah tugas-tugas yang mungkin Encik Arun boleh share, what are the things that need to be done on daily basis, maybe weekly, monthly and yearly?
Okay, now talking about daily, the most basic one where everyone knows is like sweeping, mopping. That's I think that's the most basic one, compulsory. Perlu dibuat. And then when we talk about weekly, okay, weekly we have got different type of clients. Ada yang setengah orang akan cakap, Arun, boleh tak clearkan sawang on a weekly basis? Okay, so I'll say yes, okay, no. Because for us, client comes first. Ada yang setengah orang akan cakap, Arun, you amend your schedule a bit. Okay, for me, I want scrubbing to be done on a monthly basis. Usually, what we do is like every 3 months once. But for certain buildings, since they want it to be done on a monthly basis, we do it on a monthly basis. Okay, provided it's not like 40 floors, like with 6 or 7 blocks. Okay, and then when you talk about 6 months once, usually 6 months once, what we do is like washing of car parks. Okay, now talking about washing of car parks, a lot of cleaning companies, this is where they do mistakes. When we say cleaning of car parks, not washing, sorry, cleaning of car parks, straight away what they do is they take the bomba water, tembak, letak sabun. So actually that's not a wrong concept. I mean,
No,
it's not a
actually
wrong
by
method.
right, pilih bomba kita tak boleh pakai.
Correct, but a lot of cleaning companies are doing that. If you ask me, washing with soap and water is not wrong, okay? But they have to understand, not all, especially when you have multi-story car park, not all the floors are actually waterproof. Okay, today you wash, after satu minggu, then you will see all this kesan in the floor below, and then after probably a month, you will have all these short circuits already because the wiring also kena air. To prevent all this, what we do is we give a ride-on scrubber. So like I mentioned earlier, we get it from Duromag. So they provide us a ride-on scrubber. This ride-on scrubber, what we do is it vacuums, wash, and scrubs. So that's
Usage minimal water lah.
correct. So, and we don't have all these issues. So, and you don't need like 4 or 5 manpower to run around to tola air and all. So, we just use one machine and one manpower just to ride it. It's simple. That's how we clean the car parks.
Okey, Encik Arun, juga saya nak tanya, macam ada setengah condominium cleaners, mereka dibayar gaji untuk membuat cleaning untuk membersih kawasan common area. Tetapi mereka juga pergi ke unit, resident dan juga
Saya makan.
membuat, these are all problems.
Correct.
I'm highlighting you the problem so
Correct.
that kita boleh bagi sedikit fairness kepada JMB MC, apakah kita perlu buat.
First of all, during my presentation itself, I'll always tell this to the owners or the MC members. I'll say that. Now, during working hours, okay, if at all you see any of our cleaners going into the units to clean, okay, we don't give them chance. We terminate them immediately. Then people will say, why? Why you want to terminate them? Why don't you give them a chance now? You see, this is actually like a cancer. If you keep it there long, it will spread to other organs. Same. They will spread to, they will say, boss, you dulu bagi saya dua chance. Sekarang dia pun first time bagi dia dua chance. If you have 10 cleaners, that means your mistake is going to go on for 20 times. What's going to happen to your contract? 1 year saja, not renewed. So to prevent all this, once you terminate them with the first mistake, the rest of them will have a fear. That's number one. Number two, I will always tell this to owners now. During working hours, we have all the rights to tell them that you cannot enter into the units. Now, after working hours, probably on a weekend, owners would say, "You come to my unit, I will take you in with my car. You come and clean, I will pay you."
Hmm.
Some JMBs would say, why is your cleaner going into the units? Because in the condo, they would have told the security guard not to allow the cleaners to the units on Sunday without uniform, correct?
True.
But if the owners are bringing them in, we can't stop them. So we also have problems with this kind of situation. But after working hours or not on a working day, we don't have the power to control them because they have all the rights to choose where they want to work, provided they don't work on a working day with a uniform. Yeah.
Okay. Now the next question will be a bit tough question lah, you know.
Sounds scary.
So no, it's because this is usually happens. So what sort of problem ataupun bagaimana anda menangani aduan ataupun pertikaian daripada pemilik rumah dan juga MO?
First of all, kalau tanya saya, we don't see MO as an outsider. Why I'm saying this because tak kisahlah MO or security or landscaping company. We do landscaping as well, but even if it's, let's say, the contract is given out for another landscaping company, we see all of them as a family. Why? Number one, kalau ada situasi kecemasan, we need to help each other. Okay, for an example, let's say we are going to always see, MO always complain, MO always complain, MO always complain. That means, first of all, we are already putting a negative barrier there. And then after that, what's going to happen is our relationship is not going to be smooth. Okay. When the relationship is not smooth, they are also going to feel negative about us. Cleaners are already feeling negative. Management company is also, cleaning management is also feeling negative about the MO. We cannot run a business in a proper way. To avoid all this, what we always do is we send our area managers on a frequent basis to make sure that things are smooth. They go and have a
Meet the building managers.
casual chat. Things are okay. Do this inspection. Everything is smooth. And then what we do is we also check on the complaints. If the complaints are something that manageable by us, sometimes we also have to understand we are a cleaning company, but we receive complaints that go and catch the cats. So,
Mm.
so they
So
will say,
what are some of the complaints which you think that not beyond your jurisdiction?
yeah, okay. Number one, they'll ask us to go and catch dogs.
Okay.
It sounds funny, but we have actually encountered this. They will say, catch dogs, catch cats. Ada banyak kucing dekat sini. Boleh tak you tangkap kucing? There was one condo I don't want to mention that MC actually bought us nets. Okay, you know this net, big net, and then they bought us net. They said that letak perangkap, kita dah letak perangkap tapi kucing tak kena. So what you do, we will keep the makanan there. One of your cleaners stand at one corner with net, another cleaner stand with this side, and then when the fella come out of the unit, actually it's the owner's cat, you know. But the owner doesn't manage his cats well, so you've got about 20 or 30 cats. So his owner and the cats will actually always go out like for walk. So on that day, at one corner, the other side, our cleaner was standing, and another corner, this side, another cleaner. The cat came out, we actually caught. And then the owner was actually arguing with us. We were having issues like, how can you catch my cat? so so these are all the problem. And then on top of that, we always face is like snakes. Especially at Bilik Tong Sampah, when your condo is nearby to the forest and all, you'll always have snakes. So, of course, they don't ask us to catch snakes, but they also MCs will say that, no, don't report to Bomba first. You all try to catch it first. It's not a rat to catch first, First of all, it's a very risky job to do. Our cleaners are not trained to catch snakes. So, these are all these weird complaints we receive. On top of that, sometimes they will say that the plants will be like, you probably need a scaffolding or you need an abseiling team to come and clear the wild plants which is growing at the rooftop area. There'll be no proper safety equipments or what provided to us. They'll ask the cleaners to go up and clean. I strongly disagree with all this because you see, at the end of the day, cleaners are working in a trust thinking that we will protect them. For the sake of earning, I don't want to put them into risk because they have families to feed, correct? So I cannot go and say that, hey, they ask you to go and pluck this or to clear these wild plants. If anything happens or so, you handle. I cannot say that. So they are trusting in my company, Hiroki. So I have to make sure that whatever things that we can settle, only we settle. And I don't like to promise everything, yes, 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 and then I don't deliver. I don't do that. So things which I can commit, only I say yes.
Okay, alright. So jadi pihak JMB atau MC berdasarkan dengan perbincangan kita pada hari ini, saya rasa komunikasi itu adalah satu benda yang sangat mutlak. Alright. So jadi kita sebagai seorang pengurus hartanah, kita akan menghadapi pelbagai jenis cabaran, especially dengan kebersihan. Sebab ia adalah satu benda yang sangat penting, because it's involving hygiene. So jadi kita sebagai seorang MC ataupun JMB ataupun MO perlulah duduk at least seminggu sekali ataupun bila bila diperlukan duduk dengan management uh, pembersihan syarikat pembersihan ni ataupun dengan site supervisor, duduk dan berbincang apakah masalah-masalah yang ada dan bagaimanakah ia boleh diresolvekan. Sebab because I believe every problem has a solution. However, that you need to do a proper communication. Komunikasi itu sangat penting apabila ia tibanya masa untuk kita nak solve sesuatu jenis masalah. Okey, jadi Encik Arun, saya rasa kita dah sampai ke penghujung rancangan. So jadi secara general, very quick, what would you like to say to the viewers in terms of cleaning? What can they do?
Okay, first of all, if you ask me, never blame any cleaning companies first. Okay, not just me, any companies, because I don't see anyone as my competitors. Okay, never blame any cleaning companies or any cleaners. Okay, first of all, what we have to do is change our mentality. That's the first thing we have to do. Number two is we need to have our self discipline. We need to know how to clean up our own things, our own areas. Okay, and then, like I said earlier, when you see some part not necessary, it's not yours. I don't want to clean. Okay, not yours. You can always find a way to clean it up. Just pick it up. Let's learn from Japanese. Okay, so that's what I always say, that if, let's say, we change our mentality, most of the problems are solved. That's the only thing I want to say about cleaning.
Okay. So jadi Encik Arun, kalau kita punya viewers hendak menghubungi Hiroki Eco Cleaning, siapakah mereka boleh hubungi dan daripada mana mereka boleh get in touch with you?
Okay, they can contact me. My name is Arun. I'm the director of the company, Hiroki Eco Cleaning Services, at 014-329-8090. They can also always drop a WhatsApp text. So and then I will get my marketing team to deal with them.
Okay, alright. So jadi saya ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kerana telah datang, with all your hectic schedule. You came here to share your pengalaman with us. Alright, jadi kepada semua viewers JMB, Jom Minum Bersama, jangan lupa untuk subscribe, komen dan juga share semua video-video kami dan kami akan jumpa anda di episod yang akan datang. Ciao.